Okay. The mic might be a little loud, so let's turn it down a little bit. That looks better. Okay. Well, we are going to do a little coding today. I'm actually debating between 3 things to work on. 4 things, actually. I got a list here. I should probably write some of this down on some other things that I'm trying to remember. Yesterday we did a handful of lost the word. Strategies. All for being idle. So the enemy has a strategy now for being social. Going back to a spawn point, randomly roaming the dungeon, patrolling. All that exists at this point. Have not made a strategy for combat for ranged, where they would just stand their ground. Right now I have a ranged strategy in which they kite the player. They try to back up, but maybe we want one that just stands their ground. I may actually want a strategy in which they avoid the player, like a priest or a healer that would stand back and heal their friends. That one I'm not too worried about at the moment. That one should be fairly easy. Definitely need a combat strategy for melee. Not the hardest thing to do, but definitely something we could do. Also thinking about a workbench. Want the ability to put something on a scene and allow somebody else. The beans are hanging on the bed here. Yeah. They're talking about you. He doesn't care. Doesn't care whatsoever. In fact, he wants his beans tucked in a little bit more. There you go. There you go. I want a workbench so that when others are working on the game, they can make the visuals look on a scene like it would look in a dungeon, so that they get an understanding of how big something is, what it looks like, what the animations look like, and such. So, all that is possible. Also looking for an animation creator, so when somebody is making an enemy, they can just input a couple of animations, and it will make the animator and the whole state machine that exists for that, because nobody's going to remember doing that, or how to do that, I should say, except for me, and I'm not going to be the only one creating enemies. And then the other thing I could do is work on this auto ID that I want to do. Right now, when creating an enemy definition, you need to update an ID that's unique. You then also have to add it to a definition somewhere. And it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely annoying. And not everybody's going to remember to do it, because even last night I made a new enemy definition and I forgot to do it, and it kept saying, oh, failed to find ID, failed to find ID. I'm like, oh, you son of a... think I'm going to work on the animation thing. Maybe I'll save the melee combat strategy for tonight if we're streaming tonight with the game, or if we're going to play RV there yet or something. So let's try this. I am terrible with Unity's editor. So here we go. We're just going to make this worse. So we're gonna make a new. Let's make an empty one. Oh, playables. We'll call this enemy animator creation window. Got nothing. We can always change that. Enemy animator window. Kind of want to put a creator in there. Creator window. Sure. So, ooh, no, not base, just window. Alright, so we need Unity Editor. That's always a must. Probably should put these in a namespace, an editor. Just because they're okay. That's kind of right. Okay, I accepted it and it deleted it all. Cool. Stop it. So we want to do a show window. And show window, just going to show this window. And we're just going to put a label on there. Create enemy animator, sure. Or maybe set up enemy animator, sure. Okay, so that put that there. I kind of want to put it here. I don't remember what this does. Oh, from zone to zone. Yep, okay. So I want to put that under tools, melee. So I think I do that by changing this. A second, I need to jump on the build machine. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to put a label here. And I am looking up some, how the hell to do this again. Unity, editor, help files here. I show, do I want a text box? No, I want an object box. What do I call this thing? Object field. So I want like animation clip, editor, GUI, layout, object field, yes, something like that. Do I want the false on the end? I think so. The false is target being edited. Is that what that is? Stop it. God, the AI is so annoying in VS Code. Allow scene objects is what that is. Allow assigning scene objects. Yes, I guess it doesn't really matter here. So false is fine. The type of object being assigned, so that's the animation clip. Object the field shows, which is nothing because I don't have anything at the moment. Yep. So I do want idle. I'm going to copy this. I think I need to have that assigned to something. I also want to move. I also want death. And what we're going to do is we're going to do like a... I probably have to save these publicly because this thing is dumb. Not publicly, class-wide. Private animation clip. Idle clip. The one time I actually want you to work AI. Come on, there you go. No. Oh, I do want something in there, don't I? Because if I am on the page, it'll fail. But it's null when it starts. Yep. Yep, according to their docs, that's exactly what they do. If I save that, what does that look like? All right. That's actually what we kind of want. Above that, I actually want the I could put the enemy definition in there. If I put the enemy definition in there, I have the enemy name. If I have the enemy definition, what else do I have? I also have the abilities. If I have the abilities, I know okay, that's what we're gonna do. Save this. I was playing around with that last night. Alright, so I actually want the enemy definition. So we're gonna do private enemy definition. Enemy definition. And we're gonna do a yes. Enemy definition, 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 false. Okay. I don't need to load the animations for the abilities because it's in the definition. So I'll save that. Yup. So you would select Frost Wizard. You would select Frost Wizard Idle. You would select Walking. You would select Death. But then you would hit Generate, maybe. I think so, that's all I need. I think this is if GUI layout button, yep. However, I do want to put maybe a space. How do you do a space?
think it's for the. I think it's literally space. Yep, I think so. And then I want a generate button. Generate. I like generate. I don't need all that text. Stop it. Stop it. Jeez, oh, Pete. If validates input, create animation controller. Whoa, it just jumped everything. Validation error. What is display dialog? Is it going to show a pop-up? It's kind of annoying if it does, but it's not the worst. Enemy definition cannot be empty. That's correct. Animation clips are empty. Validation input, all animation clips, item move death must be assigned. Okay. And then that's just going to throw an exception, which I want right now. So that's the button going to be on. Oh. Okay. Remove. There we go. Enemy definition cannot be empty. Sweet. Okay. Well, that works. I'm gonna take a quick break, go get a drink, put some wood on the fire. I shall be right back. Okay, we are back. I forgot what's the name. Alright. Now for the actual hard part. Okay, so now the part I have no idea how to do. I'm gonna have to read a little bit. How do you create, let's see, Unity Animator Controller? Documents say, oh my god, there's a create button, or function. Really? It's just straight from their docs. Oh, okay. Sure. I'm gonna put this in a junk place right now. I'm gonna blow up my original. I think I wanted to dump into the folder where the idols are, or where the animations are, but I already have one there and I don't want to blow it. Okay, so test. Yeah, do that. So we're going to take the name of the enemy, combine it with the animator.controller. Okay. Are there any parameters this thing takes? Doesn't seem to. According to their document, or their example, it doesn't either. Just takes a name, or path. Why is it so mad? Why are you mad, bro? Oh, it's in. Thanks. The IntelliSense messed that up. It's that. Why do you keep trying to put more stuff on the end? Stop it. Let's make this bigger. Okay, so it doesn't want anything else. Okay, so then they basically say add parameters, which are triggers, booleans. Okay. So we're going to do controller.add add parameter. I don't remember what I used. Frost Wizard Animator. Parameters I used is walking, dead, and cast. I might want to change those, but now that I have a creator, again, it doesn't matter. Cast is dumb, by the way. I need to change that. Is walking and dead. We're going to do is walking. That's a bool. Controller.add parameter dead. Should really be is dead, but okay. Consistency. What we're gonna do is let's call a function here. Add parameters. Controller. for each. Our ability in enemy definitions ability, and an ability has a that.
So that should then loop through all the abilities that it has.
Set that. However, if ability string dot is empty or null or white space, just do empty. Then we're going to continue. Need to at least have something in there. That'll add them all. Okay. So now they have states. Add states. Controller. Oh, but it's going to return the state.
So we want to add a state called idle. We need to save that idle state. We want to add a state called move. We want to add a state called death. We want to return those states because I need the state in order to adjust. It looks like we hang on to the idle state in order to set a transition later. I could do the transition right in there. But if I need them all right away because idle needs to be able to transition to moving, and if moving state doesn't exist, I won't be able to reference that.
Yeah. Damn.
I can just do add states and transitions here. So it's really all of them.
Okay. So what I want is, let's just play around with idle first. So let's do an animator state, idle state. I need the root. That's right. So according to Unity, you say add a state machine, or do I just use a state machine? I think I just use a state machine. Yeah, I don't need to add one. So I'm going to do a... Yeah. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct.
I have to figure out how to deal with the ability ones for now.
One second. The song's annoying me. So now we're going to transition.
Yeah. We set the clips.
Okay, so we're gonna do animator. What'd they call it? State transition. Idle to move equals that. And we're gonna want to add a condition.
So it's an if statement. Idle to move. Is this idle to move or move to idle? Shit. Or maybe it's both.
What's that? One would think it is this. But then again, on their Unity docs here, they're talking about if nots. So if not 0 or just if 1? I don't know. Let's try if nots.
So idle to move is walking should be. Oh. No, if equals 1. Wow, that is weird.
What is this then?
What is this? In all their docs, it's 0. The threshold value of the condition. Utility function to add a condition to a fit. What does that even mean?
Animator state transition is what this is?
I don't know what that is. I'm gonna roll with it. Roll with it, see what it does. So this is going from idle to move. Idle to move. I'm gonna put this on the other screen just so I can see it. Idle to move. I'm gonna move this too.
Now we have the transition. Now we could say has exit time is false. We also set stop it. Idle to move dot settings. No. Exit has exit time. We just did. I need fixed duration. Has fixed duration is false. Idle to move dot duration. I don't know if that's actually what I want.
I wish these were named what they were on the screen. That'd be cool. Wonder what duration actually is. Is it the fixed duration? No. It's the transition duration, probably. Probably is not a transition duration. Alright, we're going with it. Duration equals 0f. Okay. I'm going to reverse that. Paste. Animation. It's boy. Move to idle. And
And then this would be the move state. And this is the idle state. And then this would be if not, which is 0, 2. Okay, I don't even understand that. Alright, has no exit time, has no duration, same thing. Those are opposites of each other. Okay. Now we need to do the dead state. Let's copy this. Paste. This would technically be any to death. Now any is the root state machine dot any. Yep. No. Not position. Is it position? Any state transition. Any state transition. Now we're gonna go to the death animation. Nope. Thanks for that. There we go. Stop. I don't need you to try to replace everything under the sun. I even shut it off the other day and it still is here. It's the world we live in. You shut off AI and it comes back to kill you in 100 years. Can transition to self is important here, I believe. Can transition to self is off. Any to death. Can transition to self is false. Has no exit time. Has no fixed duration. Has no transition duration. And this needs to be an if, I bet. And this is not is walking. This is dead. Okay. According to their docs, they do a. How do you do the layout? Or do you just. Oh, see what it does. Nothing with the abilities yet. What's the worst that happens? Okay. We populated this. We're going to click generate. Creating asset, blah, 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 blah. It's mad because that path doesn't exist. Windows 38. Watch right there. Blew up. Okay. So it's probably bad that that path doesn't exist. It probably doesn't auto create paths. Thought it would. Assets tested once. Let me just make a. You know what? I'm going to do an underscore test because I want it at the top because I'm going to be lazy. Well, it didn't blow up. Wow. Well, it's not wrong. Huh. This walking is true. This walking is false. That is true. Okay. Not what I expected. Okay. So now what we need to do.
We need to do like some sort of for looping here. For each ability. Okay, you're just going to fill all that in, huh? See how bad it is. You're close. You need one more.
Boy, that's close.
Oh, it doesn't know the clip.
Shit.
Damn. I don't know the clip. The ability doesn't need to know the clip. That's the point. I don't have to go to the abilities and add a clip for the Frost Wizard there. That's what this window is supposed to be doing.
Shit.
What I then need to do then on the UI is I think I need to display an array. All the clips and their names, then you have to put the clips, or sorry, all the triggers, then you need to put the clips next to it. Okay, so this isn't good yet.
Okay, so here, I want some sort of list here.
Hey, what do you call that thing? Like a scroll, something or other? What the hell's that thing called?
Yep, we want a scroll view. I think we can give it a height. Maybe I don't know how much we don't give it a height if it's smart enough to be not a dum-dum. Yep, for every ability in the abilities, ability name.
There's the trigger. It's not wrong. It's not a name. I shouldn't give him a name. Really? Really? Because the name is just the name of the... Literally doesn't have a name. Huh. I could just use the name of the file right now. So there's the trigger. And now I need another... Need like oh jeez, I think I need to do I need to do a list, and then I need to set the object. Shit. Can I do that? I think I can. Private lists of animation clip. Alright, so that would then, which means I can't do a for here. I need to do a for inside equals 0. Sure. What did you just try to put in there? What did it try to do? It tried to name. It tried to name the ability. It then said, what if I put also the trigger there? So then I have the trigger right underneath it. Then if we don't have enough clips, we're going to add a clip to it. Problem is I do need to delete this if they smash the enemy definition. I don't know how to do that. Okay, let's see what that does. Stop it. So I'm going to set the object that gets put in there to the clip of that object. Okay. That didn't do what I want. Oh, well. There we go. Not what I wanted. Oh, that's why that's empty. Shit. I need to put a... One problem about having the primary. You know, maybe it's me, but that just really irks me that it always wants to touch my code. Stop. Just for like quarter second, let me think. So if I do the definition, oops, enemy definition dot primary ability. I gotta do a lot of null checks here because stop. It's very possible they didn't set the right thing. Why am I getting spammed by Jeffrey? Stop it, Jeffrey. Okay. I wanted to go down a level, I think. So this is where the begin horizontal should be, right here. Yep. So we're saying the Frost Wizard, Frostbolt ability of type that. I could probably get rid of the type. I can deal with that later because remember I'm going to change the name of that, so it's going to be a name. The cast animation trigger that is cast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to just say cast trigger or trigger. Give it a little splice. Blew up. Why'd it blow up? Really? Whatting? Okay. First, don't need this scroll view if enemy definition equals null. Yep. So that'll pop the help box on the top saying you need an enemy definition, and it won't try to do all that other stuff first. Okay, good. No crashing. Crashing now, though. Why? Okay. Because I don't think I have a editor GUI layout.end scroll view. That'll do it. I want another space in here, I think. Where's that space? For the bulletin. It's pierced. Sweet. Whoa, that's a big space. because of the scroll. Because of the scroll. I don't need that much space there. I don't want any space there. I want to see what it does. Oh, it just dropped it to the bottom. Is that a minimum space on that? What is that? Begin scroll view. GUI layout options. Cool. Alright, we need to Google that a little bit. Or, what's the thing? Oh, just height. So, Unity, begin, scroll view. I can give it a label. So I give it a label called abilities. I'm gonna drop it to like 50. This button up here. That's better. But now I have multiples. So let's go to the social. Hate it. First off, I need to fix this. I thought I renamed this. Oh, I didn't update this to be similar to that one. So this is begin horizontal, goes here. This gets deleted. That's why it's having so many weirdnesses there. Doesn't even have a trigger. I can check that later. Huh. Can't see around my mic. It's not terrible. So then we would put in here wizard cast. Oh. Shit. Yep, that's also a problem. Idle. Wizard walk. Wizard death. Okay, well, that's not how this has got to be. Because 0 actually got eaten by the primary.
then we could say whatever. I've got some hooping and hollering. He's a hooping. I see his little ears twitching. He's breathing kind of heavy. I know how he sleeps with me talking. If I say his name now, he'll wake right up. I open something without saying its name, he'll wake right up. If I say that word, he'll wake right up. But I can sit here and talk about code and animations, and he does not care. Goofball. Alright, that's kind of what we want. I can put the primary on its own, technically, and not in the array, because it is separate. Could. Is there a way to draw this? Let's pull this out. We'll make a new function. Private void draw ability animation fields. Why are you? I want you to do exactly what I just had you do. Draw ability animation fields. Thank you. Paste. So then we need to give it an ability. And then we also need to give it an index. Yes. So if we do this, we can change this later to be the right name when we make a name. This needs to be less than the index. That's right. This is the index. This is the index. So now what we can do, drawk, copy that, we're going to paste it here. No! My God. Paste, 0, delete all of this. Oh, yeah, shit, I really don't care. Cool, it tried to do something I didn't want it to do. Don't need to do this. Cleans that code up a lot. Cool. And the other thing we're going to want to do is if it doesn't have a trigger, we don't do it on the animation. Now, do I still declare the variable or set the list? If I don't, if I do, I'll end up with dead space. If I don't, I have to make sure the list is good on the other side. All of a sudden add one. I don't mind the nulls. I don't mind the nulls. Oh, hi! Did my squeaky chair wake you up? Oh, why are you being so silly? Look at that face. Look at that face. Hi. How are you? We should just have an Enix cam.
Runs all day and just follows you around the house. All the places that you sleep. Yeah. Alright, so what we're going to do is this. I'm going to say if ability dot trigger equals null. Nope, don't need to do that. If string is null or empty, we're going to return. That'll just create an... Ooh, no it won't actually. Alright, it won't. Oh yeah, well. It'll try to add shit. Honestly, this has got to go up top. Should just reorder them right from the get-go. It's fine. How do I clear it though? Oh, right now I'm not worried about it. Okay. Now we bring this back to life. But instead of this, we're going to do stop for var int index. Nope, stop it. Okay. So now we can reach into animations clips. So what we're going to want to do is, I don't think I need a return value on this because we're done. Yeah, I think these can stay isolated. So this is made a new function, private void. Oh, reset button might not be bad. Before I do this, I'm gonna go, buddy.
Muted. There we go. We are back.
So we're going to do create private void, ability, animation, nope, ability, state, and transition. Create, or add, I should say. Try to be consistent. We need the root state machine. We need all that stuff. Wow, we do. Cool. So we're gonna say if the cast animation trigger is dead, do nothing. That might be okay. I don't know if these are right. It seemed to have copied them from up here. So we're going to delete this. And we're going to put that there. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. We're going to paste this here. And this is going to be the definition. And then we need definition.primary ability. And this is going to be clip number 0. Okay. I really don't like doing that. You know, if you're not going to use it more than once, you don't need. Unless it's huge. It's not huge. It's fine. Okay. So we want to create a new state. Don't like the name. I gotta get names on that thing. For now, again, it works. This is just a test. I don't know why I'm hung up on that. Clip is the clip that we pass. So the only thing we also want to do here is if the animation clip is dead for some reason, we actually need to put some validation on that too. There we do. If we go through all the abilities, if that ability clip is null, now if the cast animation trigger is not empty, and the ability clip is null, then we're bad. Yep. We're going to do the same thing for the primary ability here. Dot primary ability. And this is a 0. Primary. Oh my god. Okay. And that should be good. So this should be decent before we come in here, but put a little validation around it. So now we're going to add idle to ability. Idle to ability has exit time false. Is that correct? Let's take a, it's going to rebuild. For now. Frost Wizard animation. Let's find her. There she is. Okay. So from idle, nope, yeah, from idle to the ability, the has exit time is empty. So is the fixed duration. And duration 0. That's correct. And we set it based on the trigger. Fine. From move to ability, it's the same thing. Huh, that's interesting. It's going to idle and then it goes to move, technically, because it'll just transition from one to the other. You know, this might be better than the way I have it set up. See, I have a triangle. And if I have every one of these, they're all going to triangle, and triangle, and triangle, and triangle. What it's thinking it should do is just go back to idle. Idle will trigger then walking is true, and it'll kick it right into walking. I might actually behave better. Alright, we're going to try it. Wrong window. There we go. And so that needs an exit time. So it has an exit time is true. The exit time is the full duration. Has fixed duration as 0. That's interesting. Alright. That's how it works out. Ability to idle. Right, because it's just going to say, I need to leave. No conditions on it. Interesting. I never even thought of doing that. Okay. Save. Ready? Generate. Well, it did not blow up. That was the social one. Huh. It did what I wanted it to do. I'm going to throw the word tester underneath this bat one, just so we can maybe see what it would do. Hiya. Well, blew it away and recreated it, so that's fine. Death goes up there. Idle, move. Look at that. Ping, 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 ping. I wonder what happens if the casts or the idle is the same but different parameter. Why would you do that? If you want to cast the same animation for 2 different spells, just use the same damn. Why, yes. It's going to think they are different. So I need to keep a running list of all the unique Because if I have the same trigger, I cannot have the same trigger. Alright, but that's very common. We're going to be using the same animation a lot on a lot of these guys over across multiple abilities. So I need to just, doesn't matter. As long as one of them sets the trigger. Oh. I don't have one trigger here. The primary. Okay, there's a bug. Add parameters, yep, right here. No.
Okay. That should fix that problem.
And when we're done, why don't we do a root state machine.default state equals idle state just to make sure. We need to make sure that it's setting the right one as the default from, yep. Now, does Unity have a way to update the layout of the animator through C#? I don't think it does. And positioning of states. Oh. What? It says there's... Thanks. Thanks AI overview. You can programmatically control the creation and positioning of states within the animator controller using C# editor scripts. However, there is no official API to do this. What? You contradicted yourself. Show me. How do I do that? Unity. Editor or animator, move state to a specific position. Oh, might actually be a state.position. Idle state.position. Why did that not come up? Does not appear to be real. Does not appear to be a thing. Cool. Okay. Not much to do about that. But I also want to do though. Like this. Stop it. I kind of want to do.
keep track of it, or I just ignore the second ones? So what if I did? It's kind of silly, but for int j equals 0, j is less than I, j plus plus. If I do if enemy definition abilities I dot cast animation trigger equals J's cast animation trigger. I don't need this. You're a dum-dum. Nope. Nope. Stop. Just don't want to do anything. No, don't want to continue either, actually. I need to break.
Bool is duplicates trigger.
I'm going to turn that into a function. Equals false. Equals true.
I want it to break.
Out of here. And then if is duplicate trigger. We're not going to do a help box. Not doing that. Does not matter. Just skipping it. Okay, so we're going to turn this into a function. If private pool is duplicate trigger, string trigger, int current index. Oh, you just tried to write it, and is that? Wow, that's way more complicated than mine. Let's take a look at something.
Okay, well, it's checking the primary, which is good. I don't care about the index. How could current index not equal -1? Of course it doesn't equal -1. Never will it equal -1. That's the dumbest thing ever. Oh, I see what it's doing. You want to pass -1 to it, saying that you're the primary. Yeah. Okay. No, it's actually correct. Oh, all right. If it's null or empty, just go away.
Okay.
Then it's saying go through all these guys.
If I plus 1 equals the current index, why continue? Why not just return false? Why not return false right here?
Means you've gotten over the thing. There's no reason to keep checking. It's just going to go ding, 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 ding until it's done. Then again, who cares? This is instantaneous code. Oh, no, that's saying if it's yourself. No? Yeah, that's saying if it's yourself. It's not what I want. Yeah, I want it to return false because it's trying to check now above it. I don't want to check above it. Yep, return false. Yep, mine's better. Okay, so if look, I don't need to check the primary this because I'm never sending it. Never sending it. If it's duplicate trigger, no, your index is where you are, my friend. Truly where you are. Continue. Okay. So I have the word cast. This is under social. Social. Does have bat. Bat has tester on it. Tester should have come through. That flip this up. Tester. Okay. We're fine. We're fine. Where's the current index? Echo true. This is supposed to be 2. That's what it's supposed to be. Yep. Okay, so tester's back. I'm going to change this to cast. Bam! Changes to cast 2. Bam! Should back. Now what I want to do is go to this definition, add another ability. Let's add the, doesn't matter, Frost Wizard shield ability. The shield has dupe. Dupe is there now. So we change this. Dupe. Sweet. So now if I run that, generate. Shit. It's not checking for duplicates on the validation. If is duplicate trigger, then just continue. So we don't care. Generate. Well, it didn't blow up. I wonder if I could select that at the end. Well, bam. Well, bam. Well, bam. Well, bam. Well, bam. And it created... Shit. and the trigger is still there, but it did do cast and to do dupe. Okay, so that's wrong. Close. Real close here. Real close. I need to come down here where we try to add the triggers. This needs to be for, yep. So if it's a duplicate or it's empty, just skip it. Can I select it at the end? Let me Google. Unity select object in editor script. Select. Okay. What is it? Selection dot active object equals. Yeah. Jesus, it's that simple. Clicking. We're going to use this tonight. If we go tonight. Because I need to make a bunch of enemies. I need to get the path better. This Nicole can use. Nicole can fill in these. She can create the clips. That's magic. That is magic. All right. Well, we did something. Took us almost 2 hours. We now have this window that can create animations, animators, I should say. Not bad. We set out to do something. We did it. Which means if we ever need to update the animators, kind of sucks because it's not loading an animated controller, but it's not to say it couldn't. It could. So instead of creating a new one, it could alter an existing one. I wonder when I blow these away, is the meta file changing? Because the name is the same. I don't know. Let's take a look, see. So the meta file right now is a very specific GUI. I'm going to recreate it. Boop. Boop. It didn't touch the quid. Yeah. You could just recreate them. And then it should keep the link with the character. So if we ever say add a working animation, you know, think in a way all enemies must have a working animation or something. I don't know, I'm making some up. I could update this. Nicole could go through them all and fix them. Wow. And what's interesting, I could add the animator to the definition and set the animator through the definition. I'm not right now. I'm just expecting it to be on the visuals. I love it. I'm a happy boy. Never I actually accomplished something using the Unity editor's tools. It's amazing because I hate it. I think their UI design is absolutely poor. I cannot stand. Just talk about this for a second. I cannot stand this. On GUI is everything from drawing the GUI to interacting with the GUI to sticking up your butt to throwing it out the window. It's very weird to me, and it does not behave like any other modern UI. I shouldn't even say modern. We can go back into the 90s, and this is not how this behaves. You have a setter, draws the objects. You have like an invalidate or an on paint or something, and you draw the objects. What their values are and the interaction with those is not in that function. You then have an event or something that happens, triggers when the user interacts with it. That's how you get the value out of it. They should be independent of each other. And this tries to merge them together, which creates really sloppy code. You literally are creating an object and getting its data and setting its data. It's really weird. Or create a button and also click the button. No. This on-click event should be somewhere else. It should be like GUI layout, whatever. Create button, let's just say. I'm a cool button. This should return a button. And then you can be like button dot, you can do a style if you want. Style dot font equals 12, whatever you're gonna do, right? Then you do like button dot on click. Create a friggin' thing for this. Click. Right, that's what it would look like. And then you could do things like on double click. You could do things like on mouse over. And you could, stupid. I hate the way they do it. My brain just is like, this is not how this works, so you're gonna struggle with it. Oh, look at that little puppy. I think he says we're done here. He's so sad. But he's so sleepy. Oh. Alright. Well, we are done here. We're going to call this a night, or a day, I should say. We'll be back later tonight for some additional streaming. Thanks for watching. Be back later.